So today I have Ben Rogers. He is the marketing director at Performance Medicine. And Performance Medicine is a cash based medical practice that is pretty much just dedicated to helping people live their best life
Yeah.
without the interference of insurance companies and all the hoops and red tape that people normally have to jump through to start feeling their best.
Hmm.
And I'm so excited that he's here because I've I'm a patient at Performance Medicine. I love what they do. And recently, a couple months ago, we started working together
Yeah.
because you were ready to kind of up your marketing and wanted a team to help you.
Yeah.
And so, really excited to just talk through that because I was very curious. At what point did you decide, I think I need a team of people to help me? I'm not going to do this just on my own because
Yeah.
you're a marketing director.
Sure. Yeah.
So, what does that look like?
It was a series of events, and like you said, I've doing the marketing with Performance Medicine. I for a long time took it all on myself, and I think there's good to that, and there's some bad to that. But over time, I will say, Cumberland Marketing, y'all are like famous to everyone on our team. So it was one of those peer pressured things at the beginning, and you know what? It's been just such a blessing to get to hang out with y'all and work with you guys. And so long answer short is, you guys have just such big fans within our office. And I remember having a conversation with, it was either, I think it was Andy and then Katie, and they're like, "Hey, Ben, they're so good. You have to do this." And I was like, "I know."
So, it was peer pressure. There was some fear involved there.
Yeah, it was one of those, sometimes, I'm trying to bring like a health analogy in. It's like, sometimes you can't see things that the people close to you can see.
Oh,
And I think what Katie and my brother Andy saw was that I was, kind of holding on to this thing really tight, and I wasn't seeing the big picture, which is okay. We want to reach more people. We want to build more trust with people that come in to see us or want to come in and see us, and they really helped me kind of get to that place. Like, okay, we need to step it up. And I think I've told you this. We really wanted our online presence to match what was happening inside the office, um, and obviously, like, there's nobody who knows us like you do, and so I felt very confident that you knew the message we wanted to
right.
deliver, and what we've done has been just that. We've had those conversations. We've broken down kind of what we're all about, and we've had our team in here hashing it out. I learned some things. Some things came out, and I was like, "Huh, that's exactly right."
Yeah.
And here we are.
So, as Katie and Ben or Andy were talking you through, like, here's what we need to do and
Yeah.
here's who we need to use, what were the fears that you were like, what were the fears that were coming up in knowing that was a step you were going to take?
I mean, honestly, sometimes it's like, I'm not doing a good enough job.
Mm.
So there's those feelings of like, you know, um, they don't think I'm doing a good enough job, or they're not seeing what I'm doing, that sort of thing. So the fear was, um, one, a little self-protective. It was like, maybe I suck.
You
and
don't suck.
and the other is letting go. And one thing I've known from the very beginning, and you guys have always known this, is the importance of marketing. And right after, like, the service that we do in the office, the next most important thing in our business is getting in front of people so that they know that this thing exists. And so, I guess I've been doing this for 10, 11 years now. And the whole time I've had that sort of mentality. And again, like I said at the beginning, it was, there's a lot of good in that.
Yep.
But there's also like a little bit of like, okay, at what point am I holding us back? And I think that's why, Katie and Andy did such a great job of making me feel safe while also saying, hey, this might be a place where, you're getting in the way.
Gotcha.
And honestly, it's been, a little bit of a relief, to be honest with you.
That's
so it's
great.
been great.
Well, one thing, when we first met, you were talking about how we've got to get our website to a place where it matches the aesthetic of the level of service that we provide.
Yeah.
Because you all do incredible things, and you just needed everything to look and feel more cohesive.
Yeah.
So that's one area that we've been working on with you guys. So we started out with a brand workshop.
Yep.
And that was kind of setting the stage for our team to really dive in to what you all do. What was your experience in that brand workshop, and do you feel like you had came away with things that set a foundation for you all?
Absolutely. One of the things I loved about the brand workshop was, one, it got kind of, our team together with you guys through a guided conversation. And, it's a little different when you have people that aren't in the day-to-day with you, kind of walking us along. There's you can kind of tell, where something lights you guys up that we said, like, oh, maybe that's something, versus if it was just us, and it looks like, a dinner conversation.
Gotcha.
And then, the next day happens and we forgot what we said or something along those lines. But one, it was fun. I mean, it made us feel kind of good about ourselves, to be honest.
Yes.
It was one of those times, like, if you need to inflate your ego a little bit, do a brain workshop.
Well, I was gonna say earlier, it's like you guys have been putting out content consistently for years, and I'm not just talking like once a week, like daily putting out content. And I don't think you realize how incredible that is. I'm not trying to blow you up here. I'm being serious. There's not a lot of people who are consistent like that. And so when I heard that you wanted to, enhance the look and feel of everything, I was excited because you already have such great content.
Oh, thank
so
you.
Let's put it on a platform where everything looks and feels cohesive and just elevates you all that much more. But you're doing an incredible job.
Well, thank you. And again, back to, with the brand workshop, it was fun to kind of see, okay, here's the colors we need to use more of. You guys gave us some guardrails, like, okay, stay within these lanes here. And I also think it was good for the team. It was good for us to feel like we're all a part of it.
Yeah, speak to the unity aspect of going through this process.
Well, it's good. I mean, my dad started performance medicine 18, 19 years ago, and it was cool to see him talk from, the perspective of where he was before he started this to doing what he's doing now. And it was I felt like we kind of created a story during that whole workshop. And also the stuff that we did within Canva, it made it more, I think I was telling one of your graphic designers, I'm very much like a screenshot guy.
Yeah.
And it was cool to see you guys okay, Ben, you're a screenshot guy. That's cool. Here's how to do it. It's just as easy. Here's how to do it in a little more professional way.
I love it.
And we've been kind of off and running since then. But that time was so valuable to us, and I think it was helpful not only from a marketing perspective, but just straight up just business. Like, hey, what are we trying to do here? Where are we trying to go, and what are we about? And it's funny how marketing is kind of all of it. It's a really interesting thing. I think it's very easy to say, marketing is just an ad you run in the newspaper or a television commercial, but I really think marketing is the whole thing. And having a thing like the workshop, it impacts the entire business. What we do inside the office, what we do on, Google
Right.
or
Well, you all
Facebook.
have multiple locations now.
Mhm.
So it makes it that much more important that your branding is cohesive and the story that you're telling
Yeah.
is the same at every location.
Yeah.
Do you feel more empowered to be able to do that now?
I feel more confident. I feel more confident in what we're putting out there. I always knew the information was good. The packaging, I felt like can always be improved, and it was nice to get y'all's hands on it. One, because y'all like set it up for us. Like you literally gave us the tools we needed to go out and execute on all the different platforms that we're on. And if anything, we've always put out a lot of content. I think what the workshop did was kind of give us more confidence to do even more with what we're putting out.
Love it. Okay. What role does accountability play in all of this? Like knowing that you and I have been working very closely together on your projects and several things going at once.
Yeah.
Do you feel like having a team like our agency with you has been helpful from an accountability standpoint?
Honestly, I think the accountability piece is the most important piece. This with small business, there's a million different things that happen that come up.
Fight for
There's
attention.
plenty of distractions, and I think it's important to pick and choose. Like, okay, what really needs to get done? Where do I need some accountability? And then kind of choosing an agency based on that. So the accountability piece might be the most important piece.
Okay.
It's moving the ball down the field, and and you guys have been so good in the communication aspect. I felt like, it's been very smooth in that I don't feel like y'all have like hounded us.
Okay.
Because it's hard. I'm
Yeah.
very empathetic to what you guys have to do getting information out of a client like us or anybody, and it's constantly a waiting game, I'm sure. And then once you get it, we expect it back in like a day.
Well, I'm always just curious about that specifically because one of my favorite things about my job is kind of keeping people on track to hit the goal. But there's always that thing in the back of my mind, like, am I being annoying here with asking them for too much at once or that sort of thing? But then the way you talked about accountability to me a few weeks ago, it really kind of changed my mindset on that's a really valuable piece of what we do.
Oh, absolutely. I think, you guys have the best editors, graphic designers, you got the best studios, but the accountability piece, none of it happens without of it. Because I think, it's the same thing with like, accounting. The accountants have to get the information from you, just like the marketing agency has to get the content from you.
Right.
What do you actually want to say?
Yeah.
And so I think the accountability parts might be the biggest part, and I've really appreciated the way you guys have gone about it. And especially nowadays with all the different design tools that are out there, it's easier than ever to put up a site. I think putting up something that you can be proud of in a timely fashion is as hard as it's ever been.
Right.
And I really think that's been the biggest piece for us is feeling good about, okay, we got them the content, and then we move on to the next week, and
there's a trust factor there
Yeah.
that I think goes both ways, and I really appreciated just how your team has been interactive in the process too. I think because there's been several people on your team that are working along with us on this, and it's always tricky because the more people, sometimes it can get more complicated or too many voices and things like that. But I do feel like you guys have had a good like you've been on the same page, and it's something we've been able to work through, and so that's been awesome. You got volunteered as tribute for your team to like be the one to
for better or
answer
worse.
all the emails, which has been fun.
For better or worse. But yeah, I really think that it has been such a team effort, and I think maybe that was one thing I got wrong prior to was the involvement that we've been in it has been, I've felt very hands-on. I felt, I had nothing to do with the design of the site, but yet I felt like that's me.
Yes,
It's
yes.
been, and it's not just me. It's everyone on our team, I think, has had like an impact on the website.
So the fear was, I'm not going to have any control, or I'm not going to have input.
Yeah.
But that's been alleviated by feeling like it's been a collaborative process.
Coupled with knowing like the importance of it. It wasn't one of those things, and maybe I'm a tad bit different, but it wasn't one of those things like, okay, yeah, let's let them take care of it. It's been like, man, I know how important it is, and I feel like we need to know what to do too.
Yeah.
And again, kind of going back to the brand workshop that was so helpful is it wasn't like a handicapping situation where we felt completely dependent on you guys.
Right.
It felt like almost you guys were giving us the tools we needed to take it even further, which I think is underrated.
Yep.
We've never felt like, okay, whereas, in the past we've done things on our own. It's been nice to like kind of have our hand held throughout the process, and, and then obviously, the quality of the work was never in doubt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So.
Ben, thank you. Thank you for all the nice things you just said about us, but also just thank you for just this whole experience, and working with y'all has been eye-opening for me, just because we care a lot about what we do,
Yeah.
but it's so fun and refreshing to work with other people who really care about what they're doing and who they're serving, and you guys absolutely embody that. So thank you for just coming on and talking more about how the fears have kind of been alleviated in terms of working with the marketing team, because that's what we want people who are considering working with us to know that, yeah, there's a lot to consider when you're hiring an agency, but it doesn't have to be scary. So I really appreciate your kind words.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you guys for all the work that y'all have done with us. And you're right, and that was kind of the big eye-opener for me was, it wasn't being taken out of my hands in particular. What we were doing was we were creating a team, and we were adding, Cumberland Marketing to the team.
Right.
And honestly, it's been so comforting, to be completely honest. It's been a comforting thing to know that we're not alone in it. We've gotten great feedback, like, okay, maybe not that, and maybe this.
Yep.
And so thank you guys for putting on a website the things that we believe are important, and what we try to do inside the office.
All right. Well, your website will be launching here in the next
Yes,
few weeks,
yes.
so stay tuned for that. It's going to be awesome.
I'm super
Can't wait
excited.
to see it all.
You
come
guys
together.
got to check it out. Make sure you check it out and see
Yep.
the work that they've done. But we can't say good enough things about Cumberland Marketing. You guys have been incredible.
Thanks, Ben.